Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Port St. Lucie, everybody here, and people at home on YouTube, the thousands watching on YouTube. We are very fortunate today to have Armand and Angelina here to conduct our service. Armand is an award-winning songwriter and inspirational speaker whose enthusiastic presence inspires us all to love life passionately. Angelina's heart-opening and angelic voice draws from many languages. She was classically trained at Indiana University and was formerly with Epcot Center. They are international performers using song, stories, and humor to remind us now to open our hearts and remember that we are meant to experience heaven on earth. And instead of our usual opening song today, we are going to do Heart of the Mother.
So this will be like music and meditation in a way, all as an opening to center into the idea that there is really only one of us, expressed in 7 billion ways. The heart of the mother, I am one with the heart of love. I am one with the heart of the Father. I am one with God. I am one with the heart of the mother. I am one with the heart of love. I am one with the heart of the Father. I am one with God. I am one with the heart of the mother. I am one with the heart of love. I am one with the heart of the Father. I am one with God. Join us if you'd like. I am one with the heart of the mother. I am one with the heart of love. I am one with the heart of the Father. I am one with God. I am one with the heart of the mother. I am one with the heart of love. I am one with the heart of the Father. I God. I honor the place in you where the entire universe resides. I honor the place in you of love, light, truth, and peace. I honor the place in you where when you are in that place in you and I am in that place in me, there is only one of us. Namaste. And now a word from our sponsor.
Actually, Nancy Cowles thinks she's reading the Daily Word today, and she's ready, so if you don't mind. Okay. And she's walking up here without the walker. I offered to roll her up on the walker.
They don't know the circumstances.
That's okay.
That's the wrong daily word. This is the daily word.
Okay. Didn't have my glasses on, sorry.
Okay. They always tell me not to touch it. Good morning. Okay, today's daily word is actually protected. Through my oneness with God, I feel protected. Sometimes I may feel at the mercy of a changing, tumultuous world I cannot control. This is never true. Even though the chaos of the world may swirl around me, at the center of my being is a place of perfect peace and calm. Whenever I am in need of a safe refuge, I turn to God within to reach this place of tranquility and reclaim my feeling of security and protection. The sun always rises after the longest, darkest night. I remind myself of this truth and feel grateful as I allowed the light of spiritual understanding to release and reclaim whatever power I may have unwittingly given to a fear-based thought. Fully in tune with the divine presence within me, I move safely and confidently through every challenging circumstance. The one who is in with you is greater than the one who is the world. John 4-4. And join me in reading, maybe not. Okay, today's daily word is protected, and the affirmation is, through my oneness with God, I feel protected.
Thank you.
I'll speak to the graphics department about the error on the slide, and we'll get that corrected. As we go into meditation, please join us in singing Surely the Presence.
Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. And breathing out and in that presence, breathing in more presence, and breathing out, sharing that presence with the world. We move into our meditation time where we deeply connect with the part of us that knows all these unity principles in advance, knows oneness, The foundation of love is there, allowing us to go into the world and share that wisdom, share that peace and joy with the world, and to share that wisdom with ourselves. Breathing in more presence. Breathing in that mighty power that we all possess. Breathing out what no longer serves us. Breathing out the past. Breathing in the present, holy, now moment. Allow the music to take you deeper into the heart of the mother, into the heart of the father, into the heart of love. Very gently now, begin to bring your attention to your surroundings, your chair, this sacred sanctuary, this holy now moment. For only right here, right now, can we truly experience the presence of God. Thank you, Great Spirit, Holy Father, Holy Mother of God. And so it is. Amen. Angelina will now lead us in singing the Lord's Prayer, and I will speak the Aramaic. Amun de Washmaya. Kadash Shmach. Tete Malkuta. Yehuayne Savinach. I cannot. Wash Maya. Oh, Baracha.
Give us this day
Aulan Lachma.
our day.
Desukinan Yalmana.
We pray and forgive us our debt
Wash Waklan Halbane.
as we
I cannot Dafnan.
forgive our debt,
Shwaken El Hayabane.
and leave us not
Ulatalan.
in temptation,
El Nisiona.
but deliver us
Ela Pasana. Min Bisha. Mital Dilaki Malkuta. Uhaila Utish Bokta. La Olam Amin. Amen. And we invite you to breathe these words in. These words given to us by our great way shower, reminding us that we were meant to experience heaven on earth right here, right now. And so it is. Hello, everyone out there in TV land and everyone here. Awesome. Really, really excited to be back. We had a wonderful time last night. 25 people here at the concert, which we didn't know what to expect. It was our first concert out since the Great Pause. And so y'all were our maiden voyage, getting our toes in the water again to start swimming in this beautiful place. So
Yes, and felt very welcomed and a lot of joy and love. So that helped us a lot.
yeah, I even got to crack a few jokes that made my wife laugh. So that's all. She's heard everything a million times. So wonderful. So we're going to start with a joy song. This is called Make Peace. And the words are very easy. You may have heard us sing this here in the past. Instead of waiting for there to be peace on earth, make peace within you now. Okay. Instead of waiting for there to be peace on earth, make peace within you now. Instead of waiting for there to be peace on earth, make peace within you now. We got hand gestures. Instead of waiting for there to be peace on earth, make peace within you now. Just like the Macarena. Instead of waiting for there to be peace on earth, make peace within you now. If every journey begins with a single step, I'm taking my first step now. If we are to be the change that we want to see, I'm changing myself now. Always a good place to start, the one in the mirror. Instead of waiting for there to be peace on earth, make peace within you now. Yeah. Instead of waiting for there to be peace on earth, make peace within you now. All right, we're going to get a little funky. You ready? Instead of waiting for there to be peace on earth, make peace within you now. Instead of waiting for there to be peace on earth, make peace within you now. Yo, 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 don't wait for peace to come. Be the change you want to see. Gandhi said that, yo. They don't know what they don't know how to react to that. So I do have an alter ego. He's a rapper. Angelina says he thinks he's a rapper. Yeah, his name is 10%. Also, Tithe Boy. She says, you get a rapper name. I don't get a rapper name. I said, well, you can have a rapper name. So I named her Nameen. And then I go, you're looking good, Nameen. So I'm saying right there. All right. So anyway, inner rapper probably won't come out anymore, but he does. He shows up. So today's message is getting high on God. And one of the ways I get high is by hanging around people that help me to feel relaxed, appreciated, validated, and loved. And when I was a little kid, the one consistent place I could get that was on a TV show. Now, you've seen me before. Do y'all know who that is? Mr. Rogers. Good morning, boys and girls, and everyone in TV land.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, the neighborly day for a beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine?
Won't you be my neighbor? Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to Armand and Angelina's neighborhood. It's a special day. You may be wondering why I'm wearing this doctor coat. Obviously, I'm not a real physician. I'm a metaphysician. Actually, I never met a physician I didn't like. If you're wondering why my shoes don't match, it's because I'm a cross-dresser. I use a lot of different names to remind us that labels sometimes are wonderful as a description, but they're never wonderful when they're used as a judgment. Okay, so I like to say as many things as I can to confuse people. I tell people I'm gay because I'm happy. I'm a cross-dresser because my shoes don't match. And I'm a metaphysician. So, just get people to go, what does all that mean? You know what? It doesn't mean anything. The labels don't mean anything. Who we are is all that's important. And guess what? At our soul, we're all wanting the same things. Okay? At our soul, we are all cut from the same cloth. Love. So it's customary for us to have a special word for the day. And today's word it's actually a phrase, getting high. Let's say that together. Getting high. It's a special thing. In my opinion, it's all about getting high. The reason we're here today is because we get high on this philosophy. We get high hanging out with other people. Now, you can call it a lot of different things, okay? But a lot of it goes back to the same thing, and we'll just call it dope, which is short for dopamine. And dopamine, and it's much more complicated than that, but dopamine and serotonin and epinephrine are three of the most important happy drugs that our brain gives us when we are in alignment with God. They find that people that live the happiest, healthiest lives are people that have lots of community in their lives. Now, what happens when you're hanging out in community like we are here today? Your brain gives you dopamine and serotonin and epinephrine. And again, there's a lot of complexity around that. That's why the medical medicine business is so complicated, finding your balance. But we are meant to have balanced brain chemistry. And guess how we know it? When we don't feel good, we know we don't have balanced brain chemistry. So it's important to find ways to get high that will balance our brain chemistry. Now, there are things that will get you a temporary high that often end up with lots of issues, like 12-step groups and things like that that you have to go to because you did so much of that sort of artificial kind of thing. It's kind of like saying, I think I'm hungry. My stomach's growling a little bit. I'm going to eat a whole bowl of whipped cream. Now, guess what will happen while you're eating that whipped cream? Your stomach will stop growling. You'll get some kind of a dopamine, but it won't really nourish you. The trick is to find something that will actually balance your brain chemistry in a healthy, natural way as much as you can. And it doesn't always have to necessarily be natural. And we'll talk a little bit about that. But there's lots of different ways for us to get dopamine, which is long for dope. And that gets people confusing because if you remember the 60s and early 70s, dope was a really bad word, you know. It was like, ugh. But the thing is, dopamine is a very important thing. That's why we do a lot of the things we do. Hanging out with wonderful people definitely raises your dopamine levels. Hanging out with people that criticize you, that put you down in judgment. How many people don't feel good when they hang out with those kinds of people? The main reason I believe you don't feel good, besides the emotional stuff that happens, is physical dopamine gets depleted from you. And that is what Abraham Hicks will often say is your guidance system. Your emotions and your brain chemistry guide you to avoid certain people and guide you towards certain people. You know, people tell me, well, I don't really need to go to church. I can go to YouTube or I can watch Super Soul Sunday or any of those things. And I go, you know what? You can. Your mental capacity can improve watching those kinds of things. But you can't get the community by watching this stuff on TV. You have to show up. And that is a huge source of dopamine, community, hanging out with people, like-minded, knowing that maybe you said something to somebody that made them feel better, that changed their life. So they get high, you get high. Basically, we're all here to get high together. Tell that to everybody when you get out of church today. Anyway, but that's it. You see, there's all these kinds of different ways. Angelina, would you like to share some of the ways you like to get high?
So I find that being out in nature is a great way to get that high feeling. So, you know, they talk about grounding and how if we put our feet in the earth, it's really good for us. It puts those ions in us and makes us feel much better. And we're always so much on concrete that it's more difficult sometimes to be in the ground.
And shoes.
And shoes, too.
Get them off.
Barefoot. Right. And so I find when I'm low energy, either, in any way, mentally, emotionally, or even physically, I will go outside. And even if it's just for a couple of minutes, 5-10 minutes even, just to get the sunshine on me, my feet in the ground, and I always feel more energized and much better. But I know when I start to feel, God, I just feel like blah, go outside.
And sometimes the blah is really about your dopamine levels being a little low, so that's a great way. Now, we were talking about hanging out in community, but there's another type of species and that can also help you get dopamine.
Another type of species.
Like Goldens and
black
dogs?
And white. Oh, yeah. He stumped me.
Okay, the reason that stumped her is she thinks that dogs are human. So when I said another species, she said, you're not talking about a dog.
Right. So they have done studies that when you pet a dog, it fills you with all these dopamine and great, yummy, happy drugs, as Armand likes to call them. But the study that they did was that the dog also receives the oxytocin, I think is what they said. And so that's why when a dog or a cat comes up to you and you pet them, you're petting them and they're loving it, and then you stop and they nudge for more because they want some more of those yummy, happy drugs. So
They're feeling it, and they're so much more in touch with their intuitive nature, their basic intuitive nature, that they know, I'm here to feel good. I want that food right now. I want you to pet me right now. I want to go out the doggy door right now. I want to go out the cat door, because the same thing happens with kitty cats.
That's right.
We have a cat now, and very, very much so. We believe that Mr. Kitty, which is his name, Mr. Kitty helped the 15 months that we pretty much stayed put, helped us get through that. I feel a lot of compassion for anybody that was solo during COVID. They weren't getting a lot of these happy drugs, and as a result of it, a lot of mental illness diagnoses and things like that went up. I think that in the future, we need to take that big time into account. There's so many things we need to take into account when we have a pandemic or things like that. So the economy, mental health, spreading, all those things need to be taken into account.
Now, for me, the pandemic was really good for me to be home because it actually reduced my anxiety. So we were on the road so much, and so I was never feeling like I'm home enough to get things done at home. And so it kind of worked a little differently for me.
Exactly.
I got to relax. I got to get things done in the house. And I'm also an introvert, too, so it's easy for me to be home and, without a lot of people around, which Wow, I'm rambling, but I love to be around people, but my introvertness, for me to recharge, I have to be by myself and alone. So anyway, it kind of worked out for
That's
me.
right.
I have less anxiety, and I feel much more at peace and happier.
She got more balanced being at home. I, on the other hand, got completely depleted because all the stuff that I do that keeps me moving and keeps me high, and everybody's different. Everybody's different. I used to think that the reason Angelina didn't want to do this is because, go out and be with people all the time was because she was being a little bit of a downer. And I realized no. And she thought that I was crazy because I was being too upper, And the truth is there's a nice, happy balance between them. I had to move more her direction, which actually helped me feel more balanced. God is balance. God is balance. They ask people, is the cup half empty or the half full? And the answer is both, all the time. God is balance. We humans are the ones that get out of balance. Some people will say, oh, you unity people, y'all are in denial. Y'all just focus on nothing but the good stuff. And we're like, not exactly. We know the cup is half empty. We just focus on the full part. You see, there's a difference. It's not
that
denial.
brings a highness to us,
What's
right?
that?
That brings us high. Like
That
being
makes you
on-
high. Exactly. Focus. What's going to happen if you focus on the half empty? Your dopamine levels are going to go down, okay? When you focus on what's happening good in your life, you feel better. It's pretty simple. It's not always easy, okay?
Right.
But it's pretty simple. And there is a part of us, part of the ego, that revels in being sad, okay? Now, all of the emotions we get to experience, sad, anger, grief, all of that. But the part of us that wants to stay there is not the God part. I heard a speaker one time says, I can visit sadness. I can visit grief. I can visit anger. I can even visit depression. I just don't buy property there. You see the difference? You don't buy property. That doesn't mean you can't experience it. And I remember when I got into New Thought in the New Age community back in the early 80s, there was a little bit of, we don't even want to talk about those other things. We're only going to talk about, unicorns and glitter. I'm going to tell you something. Glitter will not solve your problems. It does make everything better, I will admit, but it will not solve all your problems. Sometimes you got to get your hands in the dirt, emotionally and physically, to really, really grow your garden to the most beautiful. But we don't want to buy property there. Any other ideas to get high?
Yeah, another thing, a way to get high for us is gratitude. So it's we do gratitude lists a lot because they are very hopeful. So it's really easy to be in that grateful space when things are going your way. But the gratitude list sometimes is when we're not feeling so joyous. You know, Armand says, get out a pen and paper. We're going to do a gratitude list. And we'll do a gratitude list, and it really helps us feel much more joyous after.
Gratitude list is another way of focusing your energy on the half full. Okay? What's half full? You know, for every physical thing that doesn't feel good in your body, there are billions of things that are working well. Now, that's not denial. That's just where do you want to put your energy?
And by writing them down, it's kind of fun because I'll take out the notepad that I wrote it on, or I'll save these gratitude lists, and then we'll go over them like years later. And it's just kind of interesting to see, you know, then and now and all the different things. So it's fun to do.
Now, raise your hand if you've seen Angelina and I on Sunday in the past. Do you notice how much more talking she's doing? What I realized was happening is during COVID, she felt so relaxed that she has more energy now to fully express. Whereas when we were going all the time, there were times when we were on the road 270 days a year, and you know, I've got us every single day off going to a zoo or an aquarium or a museum or a theme park, and then staying with host families all around the country over and over and over. We're gonna go see these people, because just like Marmaduke, I have fast and fast asleep. Those are my two speeds, also known as ADHD. Special. That's one thing that happened to me during COVID, is I realized not only did I have this, which I knew since I was, 8 years old and I was diagnosed, the psychiatrist tried to put me on some drugs, and my parents were a bit pharmaphobic, I will say. There's a balance. You have to find where your balance is. But they were a bit pharmaphobic, where they sort of threw the baby out with the bathwater, in my opinion, because they loved me so much that they didn't want me to change in any way, and they were afraid. There's something that happens if you take some of these drugs too much and too early. It's called emotional blunting that can happen. They didn't want their son to become emotionally blunted, but instead, I also may have missed out on what it might have felt like to have a little more brain chemistry balance. It's all good. It all happened the way it was supposed to, but during this great pause, I found out that one of the reasons I'm so motivated to go 24/7 fast or fast asleep is because I'm missing stimulation in my brain. I have a chemistry brain imbalance. And I won't be so hungry to constantly get stimulated if I'm more stimulated naturally. So I've been working with that, and there's all kinds of ways to do that. I call them the 3 Asians: meditation, supplementation, and medication. Okay? All 3 of those, and you have to find the balance. There's a lot of people that don't need any medication because the supplementation and the meditation works. I tried that for 52 years. It didn't give me everything I needed. So now I've been exploring with medicine and medication, one of the Asians. And so it's finding that balance, all about brain chemistry. It just seems so weird to me. You know, brain mental health is the only science and medicine where we don't study the organ. We just find out what people are going through and give them pills or whatever, versus studying the organ. And now they're starting to learn that there is special imaging they can do, and they can find out what part of your brain's not firing as well and help you. Like I said, it can be any of the 3 Asians: medication, supplementation, meditation. Meditation, I did 10-day meditation, okay, in Georgia. It's called Vipassana. You don't talk to anybody for 9 of those 10 days, and you do 10 hours a day of meditation. And I can tell you, I got loaded with dopamine. I was high as a kite. You ever seen those gurus in India that meditate all day and all night, and that's pretty much what they're doing all the time? Constantly buzzed, okay? They are getting high on this stuff because the dopamine in your brain feels so good. How many people have ever felt, boy, I'm a little bit off? Close your eyes, get quiet, contemplate for a minute, take a few breaths, and you feel better. Dopamine, yo. That's exactly what's happening. We are meant to feel good. That is our nature. And so let's sing a song here. This is called I Get High on YOU. Now, YOU can stand for Youth of Unity, which what I was involved with in the mid-90s, or it can stand for just you. But I do. I get high on being here, and I got to tell you, I missed the hell out of you for 15 months. Literally, I struggled with depression. You know, I thought I would never feel depression again because I went through it one time for 5 months, and I visited it, and I looked down there, and what's at the bottom of depression to me is hopelessness. And I had never gone there. I've been Unity, and I've been positive, so I never went there. I said, let me just go down there and see what hopelessness looks like. And she is ugly, or he, whatever. But once I went down there, I realized that he wasn't real. That it was my mind that was saying something was hopeless. So I told Angelina after I got through with it, I said, I went down there, I visited, I saw hopelessness, and I realized, like a dragon, you know, the dragon didn't really exist. The dragon was in my mind. So I said, I will never feel hopeless again. And then 3 or 4 months after the great pause started, I started to feel hopeless again. Not hopeless that life wouldn't work out, but hopeless that I couldn't get out of this funk, okay? And then I started doing the research on what's going on with me. By the way, the new term for ADHD is called VAST. Has anybody ever heard that? So VAST stands for Variable Attention Stimulus Trait. It gets rid of the word disorder. You see, we folks that many call us on the neurodiversity scale, or atypical versus neurotypical, like my wife, unless she gets stressed, and then she goes into it too. Anyway, we won't go there. But yeah, we that are on there, we don't really resonate with the word disorder. I have a shirt that says ADHD is not a disability, it's a different ability. And I've been trying to help as many people as I can. There's a lot of people that are stigmatized by this. The minute I started studying it, I started posting everything on Facebook. What drugs I was trying, going to see a psychiatrist, I owned it. And people were like, oh my God, you gave me permission. This is a stigma. Mental health is a stigma problem. It's stigmatized. They're not even allowed to. So I helped give a lot of people permission to do things and talk about it and confront it, you know. And so I started saying, you know what? Atypical folks have a superpower. It's not a disability. It's a superpower. Remember Superman had a superpower? Also, there was something called kryptonite. When you learn about what you got to find out what the superpower is and the kryptonite so you can stay high. That's how you do it. So I've been telling people you got a superpower. How many people saw Frozen? Elsa had a superpower. Ice. She also had kryptonite. She could turn people into ice. manage your superpower, okay? So these are not disabilities. They are superpowers with kryptonite. So we're going to sing I Get High on YOU. It's a call and response. We hope you'll join us. So the great pause didn't keep me from talking constantly. I get high on YOU. 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 I don't need a train. I don't need a ship. I don't need a plane to take this trip. I don't want a drug, and I don't want a brew. 'Cause I get high on YOU. 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 Your little girl and your little boy needs to come out and feel the joy. I see you as young and wild, 'cause in God's eyes, you're still a child. I get high on YOU. I get high on YOU. I get high on YOU. Follow us and you'll get high too. Amen. So one of the greatest things about the natural high, whether it's meditation or nature or being around people or petting animals, is that it doesn't have negative side effects. And you don't have to go into recovery for it. Some of the other ways we get high, you have to be very careful and you have to monitor and you have to watch yourself because we do have cell receptors that become addicted to some of these things. And if that happens, then you're no longer taking it, it's taking you. And so we have to be careful, you know, when we're doing this. And that doesn't have to necessarily be pharmaceuticals. Even there are supplements out there that are not controlled at all by the FDA, and they can have some serious challenges. So even, you know, things like St. John's worts and things like that, you don't want to take too much of. You got to keep an eye on. Your body knows what it's doing. It's great to monitor it and see what's happening and how you feel and things like that to find out what your balance is. So one of the other ways that we get high, and this will be the last one we talk about, are unity principles. Now, you may not know it, but every single time you say thank you, Mother, Father, God, you're adding a little dopamine. Why? You're in gratitude. You're recognizing that God doesn't have a gender. God is all genders, right? Or no gender, which I like even better. And that makes you feel more connected with the world, okay? Thank you, Father, Mother, God. You know that you are taken care of. What's our word today with the daily word? Protected. You know that you are protected. That makes you high. Everything's in divine order. Remember when you first heard that? When I heard that, I was like, yeah, everything except that. Who did that? Who does that still? I do it sometimes. I go, everything's in divine order, and then I watch the news except for that or that person or that politician or whatever. You see, it's all in divine order, or we're just doing lip service. We've got to take it in. That'll make you feel good. Everything will be okay in the end. That makes you feel good because you're going, oh, this is so challenging. Everything will be okay. We'll sing that song during offertory today to remind us. Everything will be okay in the end, and if it's not okay, it's not the end. That makes you high, okay? Eckhart Tolle has a great saying that he uses when you're not feeling good about a situation. This too shall pass. When you're stuck in the situation and you're thinking, oh my God, your dopamine goes down. This too shall pass. Everything will be all right. You feel better. All is well. That's another example. All is well. Every time you say all is well, especially when it doesn't feel well, you counterbalance that dopamine loss you're going to get by saying things aren't happening the way they're supposed to. Byron Katie, are y'all Byron Katie fans? Here's how you know if things are happening the way they're supposed to. If they're happening. Right? I mean, it's that simple. It's not easy. It's that simple.
I have another one that just recently I've started saying to myself, you got this. Like I tell myself, you got this. So I'm feeling a little, oh gosh, you got this. So that helps me like get back in that space of all is well.
Do you see how many opportunities we have? I would like to read from one of my favorite books, just a little something here. Oh, it just happens to be my book. Can you say shameless plug? Yes, this is my new book. I Now Pronounce You Not Guilty, but this is one little page of it. And I wrote this book very much for vast people. So everything is short, little short things because our attention span, squirrel, tends to be like that. So I wrote this literally for me and anybody else that might benefit from it. We always teach what we need to learn. So much of this book did not come from me. It came through me. And, I used to take credit and think that this was all coming from me, and very little of my ministry has come from me. So anyway, this is called Faith in the System. Everything will be okay as soon as you are okay with everything. And that's the only time everything will be okay. So everything is not okay because of what's happening. Everything's okay because you have decided to be okay with everything, which is knowing that everything's in divine order. Faith has been said to stand for feeling all right in the heart. Faith, feeling all right in the heart. Okay? It doesn't mean that we always understand everything. It doesn't mean we don't get confused. It just means that we trust, as John Lennon said, that everything will be okay in the end. Being confused is okay. Thinking that there is something wrong with us being confused is the problem. Anybody ever get confused? Anybody ever think that there's something wrong with you if you're confused, you're not practicing your principles? That's the issue, not the confusion. The confusion is there maybe to get you to get out of your box. You know, I'm really confused why this job's not working for me. Maybe the answer is that you're not supposed to be there, or you're supposed to get a new attitude about it, okay? I used to complain a little bit, not much, but a little bit about some of the day-to-day things I do. Calling administrators, calling churches, calling music directors, calling ministers, setting up the equipment, all these things. When I didn't have it, I missed it. And when I found out that unemployment was running out, I think 11 weeks earlier than we had planned, my first issue was everything's in divine order except that governor. You know, you see how we get into this stuff? So then I said, wait a second, it's happening. It must be the right thing to do. And I'm like, oh man, I gotta get back to work. I gotta blah, blah, blah. And I started calling churches and administrators and emails and things like that. And we had a bunch. And I started getting high again. I will never complain about any aspect of my life. I didn't realize how important talking to people on a weekly basis, setting up times, even when they said we can't use you, it's the timing is not good. I still had dopamine. I still had community connections. So anyway, that's what I learned a whole lot. So let's see. Yes, I already covered that. Okay, so I think if you're okay with this, I think you should sing a song called All Is Well.
Oh.
How do you feel about that?
I can do
Okay, so my answer to everything will be okay in the end is the song that we're going to sing during the offertory. Angelina's answer to everything will be okay in the end is all is well. So when she sings these words, you maybe share some of the words of the song just so they can kind of breathe that in as they're going.
All is well. All is well. God is balanced. All is well. There's perfection everywhere. All is well.
So you see these kinds of things when we chant. Do you know that people go and they chant for 2 or 3 hours? Just chant. Have you ever wondered why in the world would they sit there and doing the same thing over again? That's boring, especially for squirrel. But it's dopamine rich. When you are chanting in a community, you're all coming together. It doesn't even matter what you say. You know, you can say, oh, what a goose I am. Oh, what a goose I am. Anyway, you can say whatever you want to. You never heard that before. It's squirrel. It will make you feel better. You will get higher. So, Angelina, take us out of the part of the service. Boy, I talked a lot on All Is Well. All is well. So, who feels a little more high today? That's what you came for. Dopamine, baby. All right, we're going to move into our offertory time.
Now is the time in the service when we take out our tithes and our offerings, hold them in our hands, bless them with our energy as we say together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love because I love to give.
So 2 more ways to get high. Music, you see where it says right there, music is the voice of the soul. Shepherd knows all about that. And also, giving. Giving makes you high. Giving and receiving. So that's another thing we're doing now. We are going to sing Everything Will Be Okay in the End while we pass the offertory plates. And we're going to do it island style, man. Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. That's your part. Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. Everybody sing it now. Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. Here we go. Nothing in this universe will ever last. So if you're feeling low, this too shall pass. Because everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. Just the audience. It's not the end. It's not the end. If you don't like the weather, wait 15 minutes. It's not the end. It's not the end. If you can't believe all people want to do is talk about politics, it's not the end. It's not the end. Look, no hands. But this is the end. Squirrel. Okay. Okay. She's getting good exercise today. Up and down, up and down, up and down.
I have to share with you, Armand, that it's too bad you can't meet 2 of my dogs, Coco and Tara, who you could literally say squirrel, and they went out the dog door after something that may or may not have been a squirrel.
I resemble that.
Yeah. Every time you said that, I could picture both of them tearing out the dog door. Okay. All right. Gotta have the glasses to see. Armand and Angelina want everyone to have their music, so they offer their CDs. They'll be in the back after the service on a suggested exchange basis. Please take what you desire, give from your heart, and feel free to tithe in the future if you don't have it right this minute. And if you'd like to help support their ministry, there is a purple basket at the back of the church. Where?
It's in the other room.
Okay, really on the way out, kind of. Okay, where you may make contributions. Who is actually our prayer chaplain today? Stacy is our prayer chaplain. She'll be over around in here if you'd like to share some affirmative prayer after the service. Bible study is tomorrow at 7 o'clock. I go. It'd be nice if I knew what we were talking about, but I don't. But
It'll be about the Bible.
yeah, it will be. It will be about the Bible. Spiritual discussion, the next meeting is Tuesday, August 17th at 7, led by Mr. Hayes. Okay, come on, cooperate. Chair yoga with Lana's Wednesday at 10 o'clock, right here. Prayer circles Thursday at 11. And there is going to be a new member orientation for anybody interested on Sunday, August 22nd after the service, 11:30 to 1. Don't forget about Miracle Moments. We'll do audio if you're too shy to be on camera. Love to have more people contribute. Next week, Reverend Linda's back. And thank you to everybody who helped set up, tear down, and was any part of the service.
So
Bring it back over to
before
you.
we go into that, a couple of quick things. Congratulations on Reverend Linda being back. When I went to the website a few months ago to call and ask if y'all had a spot for me, and I saw that, I went, well, isn't that a homecoming? A wonderful homecoming. So fantastic that's going on. One other event, guess what's happening at around 11:30 today if anybody wants to join us? We will be teaching our Native American flute class. We'll provide the flutes, and we have little straws that are all in their individual Ziploc bag. I don't know if people are that weird about this kind of stuff as they were a year ago. So Angelina created these little, so everything's going to be, and none of the flutes have been touched in months. So they're COVID free. And so if you want to do that with us, we'll do that from about 11:30 till about 12:45 or so. For anybody that's interested, we'd love to have you come. You don't have to have any experience. All right, so let us sing the peace song. And then do whatever it is y'all do to get ready for the peace song. And then after that, we're going to go into the musical version of the prayer for protection. We have had an absolute wonderful time with you. And last night was a blast. And we can't wait till we get to come back. I'll be bouncing off the walls until then. So what do y'all do for the peace song? Do you sit? Do you stand? Do you? Okay, let's do it. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. When you speak, you pray once, but when you sing, you pray twice. This is the prayer for protection, rock and roll style, James Brown style. Ha! Kiss myself. Woo! 1, 2, 3, 4. The light of God surrounds us. Woo! The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Let's sing it again. The light of God surrounds us. Woo! The love of God enfolds us. Ha! The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Woo! Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Well, good golly, wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Can I get an amen? Thank you. Thank you. Squirrel.
Happy trails